This is an NBC News special report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special report on the ongoing debate of green business, and we'll pay particular attention to Walmart's environmental policies. In the 21st century, people are becoming more aware of the need to protect and conserve our environment. Concerns have been raised about Walmart's non-environmentally friendly operations in recent years, including the large amount of electricity used by its megastores, and also the deforestation that it has caused through its supply chain in the world. Founded in 1962, Walmart is currently the largest department store chain worldwide. With over $14.3 billion of net profit and 2.1 million people in total employment, Walmart has an enormous market relevance, which means that it also has to take up much responsibility. Perhaps the major one being corporate social responsibility. We're lucky to have Mr. Lee Scott Jr. here today with us. He's the current CEO of Walmart, and today he's here to share with us some of his insights of the company's green policies. Let us now welcome Mr. Lee Scott Jr. Welcome, Mr. Scott.
My pleasure, Mr. Wong.
Walmart has faced heavy criticisms following its rapid expansion after the dot-com bubble bursted in 2000. It was argued that the company's aggressive revenue generation policies have been at the cost of its stakeholders and the environment. So, Mr. Scott, how did your management deal with that back then?
Let me fill you in on some of the details that we have included in our business plan. First of all, we certainly wanted to create a sustainable supply chain base, which means that we incorporate environmentally friendly processes in all of our business operations. That is why, after we faced that criticism, we tried to adapt our green business policies and incorporate them not only in our core business, but also in our outsourced business, meaning the suppliers. We used to have a policy of cutting costs at all costs in order to serve our customer base. However, in recent years we have changed that approach to incorporate green business. That means we told our suppliers to go green. Furthermore, we have offered somewhat of a threat by saying that if the new environmentally friendly requirements are not met until 2012 by all of our suppliers, those suppliers in question will no longer receive any further orders from our headquarters.
Walmart's carbon footprint is 19.8 million metric tons. Although the company has been actively boosting its energy efficiency in recent years, its expansion in the US and throughout the globe has been offsetting its energy-saving efforts. Walmart aims to cut carbon emissions of 2.5 million metric tons by 2013, but however, every year, new stores built are adding millions of metric tons of emissions to our atmosphere. Green groups such as Greenpeace and Walmart Watch have expressed their concerns. So, Mr. Scott, concerning these criticisms about energy efficiency, how would you respond to the green groups? And more, could you also tell us about some planning that your company has done about reducing emissions?
Yes, certainly. I think we can reduce criticism by publicizing our plans, which are firstly to reduce our emissions. We intend to do that by using energy efficient technology. For instance, we have developed a prototype superstore, namely in Calgary in Canada, and that store uses solely renewable energy, wind energy as well as solar energy, to conserve energy. And furthermore, we reduce our water consumption by 1/3, which we do using energy efficient and very innovative technologies in bathrooms and storage closets. Furthermore, we have developed another prototype store in Texas, the US. That store also uses energy efficient technologies, and it is part of our Green Business Initiative, which was introduced last week in Vancouver, Canada. That initiative can be described as a global competition, and it includes many other companies, for instance Kraft Foods Canada, 3M Canada or Coca-Cola Canada. Those companies have signed the challenge and are now willing to invest billions along with our headquarters in new energy efficient technologies in order to reduce all our carbon emissions.
As Walmart is the biggest retailing chain in the world, the regulations that are implemented by your firm must have had drastic effects on your suppliers. So Mr. Scott, would you care to please outline some of those effects for us?
Certainly I would. I think it is primarily due to our extreme market capitalization that my words at last year's annual conference to our suppliers has had such a somewhat devastating effect on the Chinese manufacturing sector. This is because our operations purchase more than $9 billion worth of goods from Chinese factories. Furthermore, the new regulations implemented by our board of directors force our contractors to be 20% more efficient by the year 2012. For instance, we forced one of our contractors in the Jiangsu province in mainland China to reduce its coal consumption by 1/3, which is somewhat extreme seeing that their business is already highly inefficient. Moreover, our Chinese branch, namely Walmart China, was forced to abolish its old stores and erect new ones which are at least 40% more energy efficient. I think that this initiative in relation to the prototype superstores in the US mark Walmart's change of thinking and our final acceptance of our responsibilities not only towards our stakeholders but also towards the environment.
So that's about it for today's special report on Walmart's green business. In conclusion, from Mr. Scott Jr.'s insight, we know that Walmart is definitely taking big steps to taking up its responsibility concerning the environment. However, we still look forward to Walmart's initiatives in the future to improve its energy efficiency concerning both its outdated and new stores. Thank you today, Mr. Scott Jr.
You're very welcome, Mr. Wong.
And good night.